then going back to Kathleen Kennedy as well is like one of the main things that I sometimes just can't really wrap my head around is that she does all this, and then you have Jon Favreau running the Mandalorian, and then also dipping his fingers in the Clone Wars a little bit as well. Like he's been a great consultant to Dave Filoni a couple of times. And then you can see that is going so much better, and then you think to yourself, why can't the films be more like this? Where, like, because that's the thing about that Disney Gallery thing as well. Like, almost every behind-the-scenes shot that they show is on whatever episode it is, and all of the directors in that round table are there. Like, I mean, obviously Jon Favreau is there every time because he's the creator, so fine. But like, Bryce Dallas Howard is there on some episodes that she didn't even direct. And it's like,
I think it's basically, people getting involved with where the money is. So Kathleen Kennedy is doing these films, and it's like, if this fails, this is this much we lose. But if this fails, it's this much we lose. And it's like, and it's too many cooks in the kitchen, and then it just... And as I said, it got too much, and then they were like, okay, hang on, we can't be too risky. We'll put these people on it. And that's why I worry about season 2 of Mandalorian, because it worked.
Well, I think...
And they'll be like...
That could be said for anything. Like the other day, we did have this discussion, actually, where we were talking about... So Taika Waititi is doing a new Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Like, he's been given one. And now, one of the discussions we had is that basically, if it is really good, they're going to want to make a sequel with him at the helm again. And it's not going to be as good because they're going to be creatively controlling it. So basically, all that really came from that statement is, we really hope this film sucks and doesn't do well, so it doesn't get a sequel and then ruins the first film by doing that. But then does that mean that films just have to suck now in order for them to basically become a thing of their own?
Yes.
Okay, great. I have a chance.
Yes. I think that's been the case from the 90s, I would say. Like, anything, like, once it was a bit, once it was all studio involvement, and it was basically like, bang, and there was so much competition, it's like, that worked, sequel. Anything, like, even if it's remotely successful, you put a sequel on it. And then, if you run out of stuff, find stuff that was done 30 years ago and do a sequel to that.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that, but we still don't have a sequel to The Room.
The Room.
Yeah.
Who's gonna back it though?
I think probably.
Well, here's the other thing as well. I think a big part of the problem is the fact that, as Owen was just saying, is that you look back the 90s, 80s, and all then, is that there was all this essentially competition, and now Disney's just monopolized everything. And I was talking about it the other day with my brother, saying, "Oh, the thing is, Disney's just with what's going on right now, Disney is in the best position to just ride this out, because they make so much more money than everyone else. They make so many more films than everyone else that make tons of money as well. And then you look at film studios like Warner Brothers, and apparently Warner Brothers is really pushing to get cinemas reopened because they want to get The Tenant out there, which is made by Nolan, and it's one of the more reliable directors they usually work with.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where other studios, especially I imagine Warner Brothers and Paramount, are really on a knife's edge, thinking, if we don't get out of this soon, we may have to sell, and Disney will just end up owning us as well, because Disney will go, oh, yo,
but
you need more money.
Talking about Nolan is a franchise in himself, and you still have those, like, you still have those directors that are basically, but those are disappearing into the franchises though as well now as well.
A little bit, yeah. But it is kind of a thing where, like, Nolan is like, you're going to watch the film not for the film, but because he made it.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of directors really these days that I feel like that's still the case with.
Yeah. There are very, I think, because when you think about Scorsese, not Scorsese, Scorsese would be one as well. The thing, I think Tarantino is probably the biggest one.
Yeah. Who did 1917?
1917 was
what's his name?
Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he was in franchise as well. He did a couple of James Bond films.
Yeah. I feel like Sam Mendes though has only really come into his own as 1917 is one of his big films where he proved that he can do his own films really well.
American Beauty. That was quite
Yeah,
cool.
that's another one as well. Actually, yeah, that's true.
But basically, I feel like
American
maybe-
Beauties, the sequel.
yeah, there you go.
There you
With
go.
reprising his role, Kevin Spacey. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, that film
Yeah.
has not
How
aged
do you
well.
explain that in that film?
That film has really not aged well.
I will say, the thing is though with a lot of directors is a lot of them have the favor system going for them, like because Nolan, because when you look at it in 2000, what was it? I think 2006 or something. Batman Begins came out. 2008 was 2008 was
Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight, and then there was 2010, which was Inception. And basically, what he said to Warner Bros. Like, look, I'll make The Dark Knight Rises for you only if you let me make this. So he held the studio hostage because they knew that they could only have him do it. And a lot of directors do that with studios. It's like, look, I'll make this series of films for you if you let me make these 3 other films for myself, kind of thing. I mean, there are certain directors that don't even have to do that. You look at Tarantino; he just knocks the doors. Like, I've got my own idea again. They're like, "Yep, do it, go for it, fund it, bag it, make it go," kind of stuff. Because he's Tarantino, you know, whatever he's going to make is going to at least get you something.
To be fair, he does work with the same studio over time, pretty much.
Yeah, like a lot of directors do that.
You can put his name on a poster though, and that name alone is
Yeah.
you know,
It's a franchise.
which is the worrying thing when I saw what was it, Terminator Dark Fate, and it said from the director of Deadpool, and I was like, fucking hell, if you're putting that on, I mean, Deadpool's not a bad film, but it ain't Terminator.
No, but here's the thing: Deadpool is a really good film, but it's not because of Tim Miller.
No,
but it's not. It's not as good as Terminator. So
no, of course.
you're when you put Terminator on it, you're saying Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and those are what you're living off. So put like from the director of Deadpool, it's like, okay,
yeah.
But Deadpool is still quite hyped because the second one came out the year before, and obviously they have association. Actually, the year before, 2 years ago, I don't even remember.
Roughly, I think that's the thing. As long as it's within 2 to 3 years, it's still fresh.
They still have an association with it, even though he didn't do the second one. But you can still say the director who did the first one, and then people will go like, "Oh yeah, because I liked the film."
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that it is becoming the case more and more where directors are becoming, basically they're becoming celebrities. Like, you look at any of it, Nolan was, you look at it, Hitchcock was probably the first big named celebrity director, and then following that you had Kubrick and Spielberg and Cameron being the other big 3 that followed him. Whereas, like, whatever their names were attached to, you were going to go, yeah, let's watch that, because we know these guys and they're famous directors because what they make is good. Yeah,
but then still you get films like Alita Battle Angel, where it's like produced by the guy who did Avatar, and then you watch the film and you go like, oh wait, this was directed by Robert Rodriguez, huh?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just say that?
Yeah,
that's the worked.
That's the
thing.
Guy it's like
Spy Kids, let's go.
That's the thing. It's like, I think when you actually look back at it, all the all the Transformer films say directed by Michael Bay, but the first one, I think, the first thing it said before directed by Michael Bay was produced by Steven Spielberg. It's like, that's what it did, because it's like, it's Spielberg.
Do you remember, what was it, Hostel? And it basically, like, on the front of all the Hostel things, they said, executive produced by, Quentin Tarantino presents. That's what it said.
Yeah.
And they put that on the front of everyone. So it was like, oh, it's a Quentin Tarantino film. We've got to go see this. And like, what the fuck is this? It's like,
it's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, like, you know, like you watched it like after the fact, and basically like, you know, distributed it, like, it had nothing to do with it. But I wonder if it comes in waves, because like in the 60s and 70s, everything was like producer led, and basically you'd have your director, but the producer was telling the director what to do. And then you had this like period of basically it was like director's vision, Steven Spielberg, you know, like after Hitchcock, basically with directors with very unique visions and everything like that. And that was what was drawing people in. And now I wonder if you're coming back to this whole thing of basically like, okay, we want you to do this film, but we also want you to do 21 more. And they've all got to be connected. And we want you to oversee it. And then like now it's becoming all producer led again. And it's just, and maybe after they all become like,
the
shit,
thing is,
then it'll be like, oh, we get directors again. and then it'll be like the Christopher Nolan universe, cinematic universe, or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
Because another one where they did that massively was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films, where it was like from the director of Transformers, Michael Bay. It's like, he didn't even direct the fucking thing. Why do I care if he's part of it? Telling me he's part of it puts me off from it.
I think the thing about producer-led, I think today is because I think the film world is starting to take after a little bit more after television because of its recent success of like the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And it's kind of new for Owen's gone.
no, I'm here.
Okay.
Roger.
Sure. Yeah, that's cool. Basically, I think because of the new format that we have with television, where it's like so, like better, like higher value, like higher production value than ever before.
Yeah.
It's kind of become a thing in films as well, where like the producers can be like, oh, okay, so if TVs can have like a plan for like 12 episodes.
It's also, when you look at it, because probably it's a very common example to use. You look at Game of Thrones, the massive budgets it had per episode, and not just that, the fact that it felt cinematic to watch in a lot of the big battle sequences, is that film always had that edge where it's like, oh, there's all these great shows, but none of them will ever feel cinematic. None of them will ever feel grandiose. And then there's Game of Thrones going, well, you see, that's not true anymore. And then you just imagine all these studios just went, oh, for fuck's sake, what now? What do we have? That's
the thing. They've adapted to that now. And there are series out there now that are probably not as cinematic, but are getting there as well. Like The Mandalorian in that sense. It really feels like a Star Wars film should feel, even though it isn't a film.
Didn't you say that about the Game of Thrones? Didn't they hire one of the Game of Thrones guys for Inhumans?
For Inhumans? Oh, I knew they did. I knew they had hired them for Star Wars.
Yeah, and then that fell through because of season 8.
No, I'm sure it's maybe I didn't watch Game of Thrones. Don't kill me.
Sorry,
same.
Not everyone has.
Guy is literally in the minority right now, which is probably a new thing.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones, but no, I'm sure the guy from Game of Thrones is one of the. Hold on, he's like one of the main characters in.
Oh, one of the actors.
Yeah, one of the main characters in Inhumans.
Oh yeah, no, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, Ramsay Bolton was in Inhumans
anyway.
Yeah.
I went to see Inhumans in the cinema.
You did?
I was like one of the only 4 people. It was so embarrassing. Like,
oh man.
I watched the 2 episodes. It was like 2 episodes back to back.
Well, wasn't it meant to be a film?
It was only on air, like in the cinema for 5. No, it wasn't a film.
It was a show.
I think it was meant to be a film.
No.
But it was only in cinema for like 5 days, and it was really expensive as well because it was like only.
It was because it's a TV show giving a cinematic release to it, essentially, which is more expensive to do because they did stuff like that with Game of Thrones.
They did with Doctor Who as well at the time.
Yeah,
but it sucked.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it's not even canon now.
Yeah, it was meant to be a show. I think it got a very similar. It got like 2 episodes, and they were like, or I think
they did the 10 episodes, but I don't know. I don't know if they're on.
Yeah, no, they canned it.
Yeah,
they're on Disney Plus.
Yeah, you can watch it, Ron.
And Ron on Disney Plus and Cloak and Dagger.
Oh yeah. Is that one of the?
It's really bloody annoying though, because like they were all like canon. They were all connected to the cinematic universe, and then like now I'm like it's kind of all up in the air. I don't even know if Daredevil and
no, I've been wondering about it for a while. I don't think it is. It was meant to be, because I think in the first season of Daredevil, there's like
there are hints.
There are hints towards like what happened in New York and all that, but they never talk about it ever again. It doesn't.
I think it's because they realized with Daredevil, at least they had kind of struck gold as well. Similarly with a lot of shows that do really well, and they're like, "Oh, this can be its own thing," and they were like, "Let's just make it its own thing. It doesn't have to be connected."
Yeah.
But the annoying thing as well is like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like there's like, I mean, Nick Fury appears.
It's canon, but it isn't, and that's
But then and then there's like the flying car, and then there's like from Captain America, And
Yeah.
then there's like Lady Sif, I think is what her name is.
Yeah, she's in
Yeah,
it.
Lady
She's in like
Sif's
an
in it, yeah.
episode, and there's like all
And one of
Grimace.
Thor's really big villains is actually in it as well, and because the Enchantress or whatever her name is in the show, and you think, wow, this is such a massive villain from the Thor mythology in the comics, and she's just given a TV show treatment. It's like,
Yeah.
because
No,
that's
they
the
get
thing.
Ghost Rider.
Which I think, yeah, they put in Ghost Rider as well, because I think that's the thing. Like, if you did this stuff, it would be fine so long as it then made it into the cinematic universe. Like, if they were all there for the final fight in Endgame, but none of them were, and you're like, well,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel as special if they're not. Because that's the thing as well. Like, Coulson turning out to be alive would be such a big thing if the Avengers found out. It's like, if anyone could find out Coulson was still alive, it would be Tony. And the thing is like, he should have, because Agent Coulson isn't hiding himself very well. He stands outside in front of security cameras, in front of these, and you'd think that there would be a ping where Tony would just be on his phone going, "Wait a sec, why is Coulson alive, Nick?" And just Nick going, "Oh, just looks like the guy. He had a twin brother, didn't you know?" And just like that is,
Yeah.
I think that's probably why what was it, Josh Whedon probably fucked off to direct Justice League as well, because he probably wasn't fed any sort of information. He was like, I'm going to make this show called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was like, don't tell him in 12 episodes Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. won't exist.
Yeah. And then it still exists, and now we just kind of question why.
yeah.
To be fair, he, in terms of like Justice League, he's probably the best thing that could have possibly happened to it.
Yeah.
I would have done both. You know, that's like the perfect. It's like the same as J.J. Abrams. He got to direct Star Trek and Star Wars. It's like,
yeah, but like, no, I'm not saying Justice League was the best thing that could happen to him. I'm saying he was the best thing that could have happened to that film.
Yeah.
But Zack Snyder would have fucked it up again.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you get all these people still demanding the Snyder cut.
There
I
is
don't
no
know-
cut.
I don't know
I don't know why people want this. The cut was never finished.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what happened to him. Like past 300. What did he do after 300? Like
He did.
it's all underwhelming. When
He
it's
did
like,
Dawn of the Dead
Dawn of the
remake.
Dead's good.
That was actually I actually, but to be fair, I think the reason that was good is it was less. That was not. It didn't feel like a Zack Snyder film. I actually didn't mind Watchmen as well, but that's because I think that was a film that lended itself to not being bad shot in his style of filmmaking, because it's such a strange film anyway, such a strange group of characters anyway.
And then he did Man of Steel,
which was
It was okay, honestly. Like
it was okay, but
I
he's
I
not.
have this like this prequel thing.
Superman
Man of Steel
punch
now as
people.
well. Superman didn't kill people.
He punched. It was punch. That's how he solved all the problems. Like
Well, basically, he
that was
killed
the
one
point of
person.
Superman. He was like the strongest person in the world, but like he it was like, I don't, like have to really solve things with violence. Like basically, like there's that scene in what is it, Superman 2, where he goes into the thing and he's like, I thought this all through, and he reverses their powers, and it's always basically like, yeah, I'm the strongest person, but I don't have to like fuck you up. And then and you had like kids that would basically have like magnets of like and bags with like Superman on when they're a kid, and now they've got like bags with like Superman on it, but it's a Superman that punches people in the face.
Well, the point was with Superman 2 is that he wasn't the most powerful. He had to take away their powers because there were three of them and they had the exact same powers as he did. He had to outsmart them, and that's the thing with Man of Steel, is it did something a little similar, making him realize he can't just one shot knock this guy out and then it'll be fine and he'll just lock him away somewhere. It's like, no, this guy is as powerful as him, as strong as him, and he generally is a maniac who will kill people, and he can't stop him unless he is willing to do one thing he'll really regret, which I thought was one of the only really powerful moments in that film, making him realize, like, because that's the thing, people are often confused when I talk about someone. It's like, oh, he doesn't kill. It's like, no, that's Batman. Batman is the one who doesn't kill.
Yeah,
Superman has killed, but he only does it if he really doesn't think there's another alternative.
Yeah, but but also as well, what I was going to say is basically like there's a lot of stuff that basically felt like reshoots, or basically like it was on the sound stage. Like so when basically he's like I'm taking down buildings and like all they crash through as going, buildings all collapse, and it's like, don't kill the 4 people in the train station. And like, to me, it kind of takes me out of the film because it's like the same thing with what was it, Justice League, and then I think it was like basically like everything's going on, and there's like a Romanian family in a house that the Flash is like pushing away, and there's like and it's like but and as well like in the first Man of Steel, going back to Man of Steel, there was like what is it, Perry White, and he's like a piece of rubble. And it's like, it's like, and it's just, it just kind of takes me out of the bigger world of like stuff. Like, I don't know. This is me.
No, I see that.
Yeah, I can see that. I think, as Ron and I have talked about, that we generally think the standalone stuff DC does is a lot better than the team up stuff they've done. Like Wonder Woman is good. Aquaman is entertaining and not a horrible film. Right. It's actually decent. It's a greatly entertaining film that is fun. And Shazam is a lot of fun as well. It's a very good film. Shazam is very good.
It's an excellent film.
And then you look at Justice League, you look at Suicide Squad, you look at Dawn of Justice, and you look at Birds of Prey. Their ensemble pieces.
I'm not gonna lie, Birds of Prey, I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it
that much.
I didn't hate it. I liked it a lot more simply because I went in and people go, "Oh, what do you think of Birds of Prey?" "Oh, I liked Harley Quinn." "Oh, so you like Harley Quinn?" No, I like the film Harley Quinn because it's not a Birds of Prey movie. Yeah. It feels so unlike a Birds of Prey film.
Yeah, it's a solo film that pretends not to be one.
Yeah, that's
and then retroactively decides to be one.
Yeah,
they basically want it to add something to do with Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
and even when you call up the thing now, it goes like Harley Quinn. Like,
I think also part of the reason why I liked it so much is I went into that film with the lowest possible expectations, thinking this is another Suicide Squad. I went in thinking this is just going to be another trash film that is just terrible, that I'm going to hate, and I'm going to why I watched it. That I went out like, it wasn't too bad. Because it wasn't trash. That's just so sad.
This is like where a level of appreciation for films is these days as well. It's just like, if it's bad, but it's not
the worst,
bad, it's still a good film.
Yeah.
I just wonder what the hell, when some of these films come out, what did they turn down?
What did they turn down? Why isn't it? Maybe they didn't turn down anything. Maybe this is like the only thing going for them.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. It's like,
I'd like to believe that.
You hear, like, whenever I hear people saying, "Oh, films are so bad these days," and then I watch like certain films like Le Mans '66 and Toy Story 4 and all these other great films, like, no, they're actually not bad.
Yeah.
But all the mainstream ones are terrible. Why? They weren't like that. Like, you look at Aliens, mainstream film. You look at Jurassic Park, mainstream film. You look at the original Star Wars trilogy, mainstream. They were all great. And now it's like mainstream films these days are just like...
To be fair, they weren't mainstream when they came out.
Aliens was more mainstream, I think.
The first Star Wars wasn't.
First Star Wars one. Okay, yeah, I'll agree. But Jurassic
Park
was
a blockbuster, but it wasn't. I don't think it was like anything that people were really.
That's true.
Well, George Lucas funded Empire Strikes Back himself, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah. But yeah, like.
But going back to Alien, what guys said about Alien, it was Alien and then Aliens.
Yeah.
I think by the time we got to the third one, they were like, money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like, and then they were just like script changes, revision. And then four's written by Joss Whedon, but then they've got like some fucking nuts director.
Yeah.
Like 4 could have been a competent movie, like if you...
It was really funny because when I was living in Australia and I was studying at the New York Film Academy, one of my tutors there talked about that director, saying, "Oh, he's a master director, he's really great," and he brought up like this compilation of some of the films he made, and then I saw the guy who was talking about made Alien 4. I was like, okay, to be fair, I didn't like this tutor. I really hated him. I was like, yep, no, he's confirmed to me he's just talking out of his ass because the guy who makes Alien 4 is not a good director, no matter what else he's made. It's just that film just completely unresolves everything. That film was just, oh, God.
Mm.
No matter what people say and how much they dislike Prometheus, it's still a better film than
Who
Alien
was
3.
the guy who directed this?
I don't remember his
It's
name.
got a foreign name.
Okay.
I'll look it up. Alien 4.
Everyone who's got a foreign name is unrecognizable.
I think he's a French person.
It probably is. They have the shittiest name after all.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet, I think it is. Or
Well,
whatever it
you
is,
can
yeah.
pronounce it.
Yeah. Jean-Pierre. Screenplay
And
by
then there
Joss
was,
Whedon.
and then there was meant to be a 5 after that as well because it ends
Yeah.
with them going to Earth.
Yeah.
The third one
But-
was meant to be on Earth as well, wasn't it? Third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they changed it.
Yeah. And then they
Yeah,
finally went to Earth with Alien versus Predator 2. That
And
was-
Alien.
Oh, yeah, that
both
was
Alien
the thing.
and Alien.
And I've watched. I've owned that twice, and I've watched that nonce. It's like unwatchable. Like,
I forget sometimes that Predator was a one-off film once,
what do you mean a one-off film?
wasn't it? Like it was just your good old Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
No, that's the thing. I
There's
don't.
Predator
The second
2.
Predator 2 is actually not that
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
It's actually
yeah.
very like it did its own thing very well, and then they fucked it up with the following
It's
ones.
very 80s. It's 80s,
Yeah.
90s.
Sure, but
It still felt. That's the thing is they basically took Predator and then they went, all right, we need to make it feel different, but at the same time make it feel like a Predator. It's like, okay, we'll put the Predator in, we'll make it really scary and everything, but we'll have it be instead of a classic 80s action hero, we'll have it be a classic 80s cop. That kind of thing where it's like they went with the still classic 80s action hero, but as a cop
It was
instead.
Danny Glover. It's like one
Yeah.
half a Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, there you go. Like, that's the great thing about it. It's like watching Lethal Weapon, just without the nutcase on the other side of it. Without the
Yeah,
nutcase.
it is. He plays the character practically the same. He does. He carries himself exactly
It's
the
a
same.
crossover.
Yeah,
It's This was before he met.
It even ends as well with the skull of the alien. So like they're hinting that basically.
Yeah,
it's
the
gonna be-
alien skull is there as an Easter egg. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where
Yeah.
that was the first time they confirmed that the universes were connected.
Yeah, and then they
Or
went,
hinted at
"Hey,
it.
guy that did Resident Evil and Soldier, do you want to do Alien versus
Yeah,
Predator?" Yeah.
because
And then crossovers kept happening.
what was it? Because did you Predator? What was it? It was after Predator 2. It was Predators, and then it was Predator.
The Predator.
The
Predator.
Predator. Yeah. Oh, I just think Predators kind of still captured the original feeling to an extent.
That was alright.
It was all right. Yeah, that's the thing. It was all right. It wasn't as good, but it still felt like Predator. And then you saw the Predator, and you were like, "What?
The Predator
what is-
was basically
what is
like
this?"
too many people involved, and they reshot like the whole ending as well. Like
The
Right,
kid
it's-
made no sense in that film as well to me.
there's like there's because I heard about all the extensive reshoots, and then I watched it and I was like, man, I've never watched a film like even like basically Fantastic Four where it was like one half shot before, one half shot after. You know, it wasn't quite like that, but this was like it was like, man, that was reshot. That you could just tell what was reshot.
Yeah.
And there was like one scene where basically like they obviously didn't have any like footage to like fill like this period of time, so they cut to the boy and he's like drawing a picture or something. He goes, "That's a good picture," and then it cuts to like back to what was happening somewhere else, and it was like, man, that was the only way to show like a passage of time. Like,
What
yeah.
a segue.
God, the Predator was just a
autism, wasn't it? Was it autism?
yeah.
was
It
a
was that.
superpower?
Apparently, autism is what will make the human race the ultimate race in the universe, and that's what will help us beat the Predators. And I was like, because they were talking about that, saying, "Oh, they're the ultimate warriors, and they will be able to beat the Predators." Like, we've already beaten them, at least 2 times in Canada if you count Predators. We've been them
it's
3.
bad as well. If what's his name? Arnold Schwarzenegger will you do your Terminator Genesis, but he won't appear for like half a day on the set of the Predator because he was meant to turn up at the end and like, let's go get him. Like,
Nah.
Yeah, but no, because that's one franchise he doesn't come back to, even though there's literally every other franchise that he's ever been in, he's come back to at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And arguably, Predator probably actually had his most iconic lines if you think about it.
Yeah.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. Get to the chopper. Go.
But
No,
they
don't pick it up.
parody that as well.
Yeah.
Well, with him.
Like I don't know if you noticed, it was like it's like the bikes are called choppers. They say like get to. It's like one of them says like get to the choppers.
Yeah.
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 Man, that's
Or get to the chopper bikes.
That
or
was a
something
low.
like that.
Yeah,
like,
get to the choppers. Yeah, no, they said that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a new low for this
Very
series. Why would you have that in there? I was like, wow, you couldn't get him to say the line, so you just had some random guy who's just like, is there no respect for the original film? No
probably
respect.
not.
But
No.
what's weird is they're coming. Have you watched it, Ron?
I still not watched it. No.
No, they're coming here to basically stop global warming. I think,
Of
isn't
course.
it?
Yeah,
Is
they're
it that?
like,
Yeah.
I can't remember
Yeah,
what
that
it
totally
was.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It's so nonsensical you can't even remember. But it's
Yeah.
something like they,
Yeah,
they,
no,
they want to
maybe
protect the
none
human
of this
race.
makes
Global warming by killing the autists.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
It's
that
like
makes sense.
the Predator film had an actual good concept of like there are 2 factions of predators. They're at war with each other, and then like
Okay.
no, because that's happened before. Like that's
So,
the premise
so
of
any
the
film that contains alien species ever.
what? Sorry, pardon.
So basically, there's two predator races. Yeah, they're at war with each other.
Uh,
That's basically
That's in Predators.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically every film ever with alien species in it. Almost.
not in.
I mean, Transformers.
okay, All right, that's one.
Okay, it happened on Star Wars all the time.
I'm not going to count this. I'm not going to count Star Wars because it's about Earth being part of it. Because you look at Independence Day, there's no Civil War there. You look at Mars Attacks, there's no Civil War there.
Okay.
War of the Worlds, no Civil War there.
Okay. What about Planet of the Apes?
That's on an alien species, though.
But they're
that-
alien to other alien species.
Oh, for fuck's sake, bro.
You know, if a Martian came over, they would be like,
You're
"Ooh,
grasping at straws here.
yeah." Martian Manhunter as well. You know, there's two races of.
I'm surprised you
Martian.
haven't brought up the most obvious one.
Of course,
Star
because I
Trek.
never do.
Star Trek. They're alien
Well, if
races
you're
that
not
war
going
with
to
each
count
other.
Star Wars, then why would you call it? You know,
Because Earth is a faction in that. The humans of Earth are a faction in that, whereas they're not in Star Wars. Star Wars is a strictly alien universe, whereas Star Trek is a human universe with aliens in it.
all right. Well, look.
I don't think Star Trek's really existed since the early 90s. So.
Nah,
There you go.
No, in its original form.
that's true. Nah, that's right.
Therefore, it wasn't that obvious.
Like I was just thinking about Picard, and like I used to love the Borg and everything like that, and
We
I
are
was
the
just
Borg.
watching all these characters, and I was like, these characters aren't how. Because I like what was really bad as well. What made it worse was it was all on Netflix. So I was flicking back to like Next Generation and watching like all the episodes that I liked, and then I went to and then I flicked to Picard, and I was like, no one is how they acted. No one like
Everything
you know.
has changed. That's bound to happen after years, and I'm guessing the people behind the shows aren't the same people anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing was, Star Trek was all about basically solving problems, negotiating a higher form of life, and it was the primary objective, and helping
Explore
people
the galaxy and
explore the galaxy, but don't get involved, and try. And there was no such thing as money and everything, like in capitalism and poor and rich, and it was all like none of this existed. It was just all like a perfect, we'd evolved beyond that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in the next one, it's like, yeah, have you watched it? Because it's like she's a bum. He got loads of money, and then just fucking shoot everything. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Because that's the thing. At least with the last films with Chris Pine and
Sure.
all those ones, those were actually still very much in keeping with the Star Trek feeling
yeah,
of
I
like
would,
it's
yeah. But,
exploration and
yeah, I would, yeah. But the TV series, like I watched about 20 minutes of Discovery, and I was like, nah. Ron, you're very quiet. Have you not watched any of this?
No.
Okay.
he's not a Trekkie.
I didn't grow up with this, unfortunately.
I did. My parents were big Trekkie fans. My brother's a bigger Trek. My brother's bigger fan of Star Trek than he is Star Wars.
It's a lot to get into, but you
Well,
can
yeah,
find like
I saw it
lists
was
of,
on
like,
Netflix
basic.
at some point, so I was like, great, I'll just start. And then I saw that the original series was like one season is 30 episodes, and each episode is an hour. And I thought to myself, well, no.
No, but you can find like basically the core episodes that you need to watch, and then basically you can buy like they do these like you know, like Star Trek, like the enemies like DVDs, and they just basically have the core stories to do with certain
sure.
villains and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So you can find the list and then just watch those, and then it's like
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. I might just do that. Because the only stuff that I've seen is the J.J. Abrams films. But I don't know, like
it might take if you've watched that, it might take a bit of getting used to.
Yeah.
But the Borg, the whole idea with the Borg, and that's where I came up with my Terminator idea, was basically like, it's such a cool idea with this like race that basically is taking bits of other people's races to make the perfect race.
Yeah.
Right.
And no one knows where they came from, but they're like
The Borg are
fundamental.
one of the most interesting things to come. I think probably, if not, no, they're one of the most interesting things to come out of Star Trek because they're and they're so classic as well. You will be assimilated. Do not resist. We are the Borg. Like they're just such a classic, cool enemy to have.
I just think it's funny that like every time the subject of Star Trek is brought up, there's like a big kind of question of like which show is good and which one is bad. Because like there's always like I always hear like from people like either they like everything but not Voyager, or
I love Voyager.
Oh, really?
Sorry, I might be in a thing of that. I don't know. Guy, do you like Voyager?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the thing. It's like each. I like the idea of people going, "Oh, this series of Star Trek is bad," or "This one's bad." It's like, well, the thing is, you're always going to find people who prefer one over the other, but
yeah, of course.
They're all different and unique in their own way. Like
sometimes, like almost genuine hatred.
Yeah, no, I find
Yeah,
that
I guess
this thing I find that a lot of people genuinely really, really hate Star Trek Discovery, but I don't mind Star Trek Discovery. I know it's not for everyone, but I watch it and think, I can understand why people wouldn't like it. It's very different from the other ones, but I still think it's watchable at least.
Did you watch Short Treks?
No, I haven't
It was like
watched
the middle season between Discovery and the season 1 and season 2, and it was like basically short films that had nothing to do with.
Yeah, no, I think I did watch it. I think.
Yeah, there's like 3 episodes. They were quite fun.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what time is it now? Ooh.
Yeah, we've been going on for about an hour 40, which is
long. You got audio, right?
I got the little thing moving up and down.
I haven't got video this time.
Well, we can work past that. We can just put pictures of ourselves on.
Yeah.
Fine. We can have the crawl and then pictures of ourselves.
What? Yeah. No, I've got video. Don't worry.
Thank fuck for that.
Oh wait. Oh fuck. But I forgot to change the setting. That records it
rubbish.
KV. So I have to transcode everything.
And that's your own problem. Well, at least we've got stuff to work with. Anyway, I think we should wrap it up here, guys.
Should wrap it up.
Yes.
It's entirely possible that I might just cut this episode into a couple and then just
that's fair.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Because we easily have like 3 episodes in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not nearly.
Remember when we were talking about Star Wars? That was the thing.
Oh, we did talk about Star Wars for a good bit, and the thing is, I think we didn't talk about it nearly as at length because everything we did talk about previously, we were able to narrow down to very quickly within very quick spans. And then we just
true.
dissected off into other things that we liked.
It's true. Cool. Then
Okay.
thank you very much for watching.
Yeah.
Owen,
Okay.
thank
Well,
you very much for
good speaking to you both again.
Yeah. Very
Good.
good to speak to you again, Owen.
Yeah,
and
good speaking.
and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Yep.
See you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
Oh, okay. He just dropped out.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's cool. See, I'm taking notes. I haven't actually stopped recording this time.
Good. You
Very
can leave that as the true outro.
Very good.
The Eye of Sauron.
Oh my god! You know the freakiest thing is, I've got my laptop screen in front of me. Then I've got my main screen of my computer that is being recorded, and then my screen on the left where I can see the recording. So now I just had 3 eyes just fucking staring at me.
That feels like an episode.
Screen.
That feels like something that would be in an episode of Doctor Who, weirdly. Where it's just like eyes appearing on a screen, just going.
The eye is
"Watching
here.
you."
Stare into my eye. Wait. I have discovered how to see my own eye. Damn it.
No, it doesn't work. I tried that. It doesn't work.
Anyway, let's stop this nonsense.
Yeah.